Greetings and welcome to Elect Connect, a candidate forum brought to you by the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce. I'm Mary Morgan, the Chamber's Director of Advocacy and Public Policy. We'll be talking with Philip Eskew Jr., a candidate for Monroe County Community School Corporation trustee in District 6. First, I'd like to take a moment to thank our Elect Connect sponsors. Without their support, this work would not be possible. Those sponsors include Comcast Business, Bunger and Robertson, the City of Bloomington, German American Bank, Indiana University, Hoosier Energy, and Smithville. Welcome, Philip Eskew Jr. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's begin by having you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for this office.
Well, I grew up in the home of the superintendent of schools, so I'm very familiar with public schools. The president of my dad's school board was a physician, one of the reasons why I became a physician. And so when I started practice in Carmel back in 1974, I called my dad and I said, I'm going to run for the school board. And he says, oh, don't do that. He says, schools don't have any money and it's just headaches. And I said, Dad, it's because of you. I want to run for the school board. I want to give back to the community. So I was elected 3 times, served 12 years on the Carmel School Board. During that time, we hired a new superintendent. We built 4 schools. We renovated 3 other schools. We had a public remonstrance. I just got a lot of experience at that time. And then I think the experience is something that I can add to this community. When I completed my practice and retired, I ran for the Indiana University Board of Trustees and was elected by the alumni 4 different times. So I served 12 years as an IU trustee. During that time, I was chair of the facilities committee. So during that time, Indiana's either built or repaired renovation $2 billion worth of facilities. So I have that experience in terms of upkeep of our buildings. We moved to Bloomington to retire 3 years ago. My wife came down to be the Director of Women and Children's Services at the IU Health Bloomington Hospital. I simply want to give back to the community. I have a lot of experience. I think it's important in this time, being a physician in the pandemic, that also is something that I can bring to the board as well. So I just think experience matters and I want to give back to the Bloomington community.
Okay, thank you. One question we have for you, as students return to school, what kind of feedback have you heard? And is there anything that you would suggest MCCSC do differently based on that feedback?
Well, in the students that I've talked to, I feel like that a lot of them are having trouble studying. A lot of them are having trouble learning how to do e-learning. I think that's a real challenge for all students of all ages. It's a challenge not only for the students, but of course for their parents at home. So I know that Indiana University received a grant recently to help with e-learning, and that's the School of Education. So I think we need to tap into that resource. But that means we have to work with teaching our teachers how to teach with e-learning. We have to help our students to make sure that they're gaining that. You know, I'm anxious to move our students as quickly as possible to a hybrid method where they have some in-class contact with a teacher. I know that it's going to be very difficult until we get a vaccine that we can have the number of students in each classroom that we did have before it started. But until that starts, periodically, I think there's got to be some in-person attention with our teachers and contact. It's just a very difficult time. It's a strange way to learn. It's happened more in the college atmosphere than it has at high schools and grade schools. But this is a real challenge for small children and middle school children, not so much for the high school students.
Well, thank you. Thank you again. And as a reminder, we've been talking to Philip Eskew Jr. He's a candidate for the Monroe County Community School Corporation trustee, District 6. One final thank you to our Elect Connect sponsors, Comcast Business, Bunger and Robertson, the City of Bloomington, German American Bank, Hoosier Energy, Indiana University, and Smithville. And finally, a reminder to vote on November 3rd or to take advantage of early voting if you can. For information on this year's election and all the candidates in races locally, there are a couple of online resources. One is from Monroe County. It's monroecountyvoters.us, and that'll take you to Election Central. The other is the Chamber's nonpartisan resource site, chamberbloomington.org/2020-general-election. Thanks for joining us.